Hey there guys, it's Rick Utzer here with Airgun Web for Modern Airgunner and our continuing series on personal portable compressors. So what is a personal portable compressor? It's a small, lightweight, affordable compressor that's mostly designed to fill your airgun, not bottles. Now today's compressor is going to be one of the exceptions to that rule. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Omega Trail Charger. This, guys, is a very cool little compressor. It is like a tank. It just chug, 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 chug. It's awesome. It has got water cooling, so that whole cooling thing where you gotta, like some of the others, you gotta let them rest and all these other stuff. No, this thing can just chug. It can just chug, 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 chug. Now, you want to be within reason, and you can't just leave it unattended. You do need to monitor the moisture, and we're going to get to how to do that here shortly. So it is, again, water cooled. We have a grease lubrication here. Check the manual. It tells you how many times you're supposed to turn this knob, which puts grease into the piston to help keep that lubricated. It's 12 volt and 110. All right, this one thing I really should have mentioned probably a little bit sooner. You guys that are making these compressors, give us some longer cables. These are just too short. It's not convenient out in the field to have this tiny little short cable. We need something that's got at least another couple feet on it. That would be awesome. So, like next revision you guys are building, put a longer hose on it. All right, so let's go ahead and hook up our power. We've got red and blue. So blue is black. That goes on the negative. Red goes on the positive, and we'll hook up our power. And that's going to cause some noise now. Once I plug this in, the converter fan is going to start running. All right, so that's running. Now what we're going to hear, or actually what we're not going to hear, is a lot of noise. This is one of the quieter units that you can buy. So if noise is part of the equation and you want something quiet, maybe you're going to run this in your garage and you don't want to bother the missus, or who knows where you're going to put it. It is one of the quieter units. It's very, very nice. It's auto shut off. We do have a manual setting here. This does feel, it's a little tall for me to see it, so I'm going to tilt it for a second. I'm going to set it to 4,500 because we are going to do the pressure test of its max operating pressure on its little test plug here. Now, the minute we turn this on, we're also going to check to make sure the water's flowing, because if it isn't, you've got an internal circulation problem. That will burn this up in a heartbeat, so definitely always check your water's flowing. The one thing I do with this is I don't shut it down to cool off every 15 minutes, but I do come up to it and I open the bleeder just to get rid of any moisture that's sort of collected in the system, get rid of that. I don't need to stop the fill process, just blow the moisture off and let it keep going. Now this, as I said, the exception that I was going to get to is this can actually fill small pony bottles very effectively. You do need to monitor that fill time and make sure that you're getting rid of the moisture, because you don't want that to either back up into your gun or worse, back up into the compressor and blow the head. So make sure you keep blowing the moisture off. You don't want that to collect. Here in West Texas desert, it's very, very dry, so it's not much of an issue here. But if you're in Georgia or Florida or the Bahamas, you definitely want to keep an eye on getting that moisture out. However often that is, you want to get it out of the unit, because it will cause you some problems if you don't. All right, we're hooked up here. I'm going to go ahead and turn the power on. We will get some noise, but not a lot. That's it. So that is so much quieter and nicer to deal with than we have been dealing with. So we're going to go ahead and pressurize the system now. And like I've been doing with all of my other tests, I will not start the timer until I actually close the bleed valve. You hear how slow that's rotating? It's got a much longer stroke, and it's rolling at a much lower RPM, which is why it can just chug, 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 and it doesn't really generate a lot of heat internally. One of the very cool things about this unit. Actually, all the Omega compressors are like that. Here we go. Already passed 1,000 psi. 2,000 psi. 3,000 psi. 4,000 4,000 psi, and we're done. So about 35 seconds. Okay, one of the things that does happen with this, I don't know if it's my unit or whatever it is, but this relief valve will want to sort of start leaking a little bit, so you want to listen for it and just make sure you got that good and tight, and then it won't have any problems. Now, with any of these personal portable compressors, because they fill so slowly, any leak, any degradation in any part of the system is going to cause them to work that much harder and maybe not fill your gun or bottle at all. So definitely keep an ear out, and also just check all your connections once in a great while, you know. Hit it with some soapy water, see if you're getting bubbles. Just part of that troubleshooting process, maintenance process. Okay, so what did we get topping off our bottle, or filling our bottle, and then topping it off, I should say. Let's take a look. So again, we have a 480 cc bottle. We're filling this from flat empty to 250 bar, and this did it in 16 minutes. So before we were talking about 25 minutes to 23 minutes in that range. This did it in 16 minutes, no cool down. Maybe, you know, I bled some moisture off one time, but you just let it keep running. So that is very, very quick comparatively. From like dead empty to full, 16 minutes. Oh, I can live with that. What about topping it off? Well, to go from 150 bar to 250 bar, that took a whopping 4 minutes and 12 seconds. So as you see, we're getting faster and faster. We're also kind of spending more money. I would expect that if I'm going to spend more money, I'm going to get faster fill rates and just kind of a more capable unit. So that only makes sense. The Omega Trail Charger, as far as just so you guys know, over in the workshop, this is the compressor that we're using pretty much every day over there to test guns and top guns off. I love the just manual sort of auto shut off pressure gaugey thing here. To me, that's super convenient, and we're just filling little bottles and we're testing guns. This has worked out very well. I've had this for well over a year, and we have just put it through the ringer. So it's been a great unit over in the workshop. Just personal, letting you guys know my experience with the unit. It's very good. It is more money than everything we've looked at so far. It's also a very, very good unit. Guys, that's it. We're going to jump right now to the next guy in line here. This is the Hill compressor we're going to hit next. It is the most expensive at about $1,300, so it's pricey, but it's awesome. Stay with us. We're going to get to that next here on Modern Airgunner. My name is Rick Hutzler. Thanks for watching.